All right, so today we're going to talk about hydration and the importance of hydration. So we're going to go over some nutritional topics as we go along throughout the course of the year, just because they're super beneficial. If you're not taking care of your bodies, but with what you're putting in them, honestly, your performance gets severely affected. As much as I love to train personally, and I love to get after it in the gym and get after it with my activities in the water and other sports. If you're not putting the food in that's necessary and getting enough hydration, it's just not it's not going to help you get anywhere with your performance. So one thing I want you to keep in mind as we're going through this exercise is think about what you're currently doing, what type of adjustments you can make, and how you can take something from this quick talk to help you with your own hydration. So if you've ever heard me kind of talk from previous years, or even if you've followed me on social media, you've probably heard me talk about this idea of 3 cups first thing in the morning. So one thing I like to do from a hydration standpoint is I like to start my day with 3 cups of water. And the reasoning for that is, number one, it just starts getting you on the right track, okay? You come out of sleep in a slightly dehydrated state, okay? So sleep is a very active thing. There's a lot of recovery going on there, and you're honestly a little bit dehydrated at that point. So starting the day with 3 cups of water is a great way to just get on the right track with your hydration, especially if you practice in the morning, you're training in the morning. If you go into practice already dehydrated and go and try to train at a high level, you're basically just, you're going backwards before you even get a chance to go forwards. Honestly, for a small amount of dehydration, we're talking 1% to 2%, is comparable to, in some studies, they found it's comparable to drunk driving and being that impaired. So think about it, if you're only 1% to 2% dehydrated, you're that impaired to the point where it's almost like being a drunk driver out on the road. And we know what the effects of that is, as we see play out time and time again. So you can see how important hydration is throughout this process. The other thing I like about starting with 3 cups of water first thing in the morning is it starts to build what I call a performance habit. And the reason for that is you do these small things over and over again, and all of a sudden they amount to something way bigger. So it's just like training. Coach tells you to work on an elbow positioning over and over again. Coach tells you to get underwater past the flags off each wall over and over again. And then as you do these things time and time again, they just become automatic, right? And it's one of those things that if you start every day with 3 cups of water, eventually you're not even going to think about it. It's going to be part of your day, and you're going to really benefit from that. Along with the benefits of performance, water plays a role in joint function. It plays a role in your brain health, plays a role in your hair, your nails, skin, all that type of stuff, and taking care of your body. So even outside of performance, just in terms of bodily function, it's a really key portion of things. And as we talk about hydration today, I want you to think about it from the perspective of just water. So we're not talking soda, we're not talking Gatorade, we're just talking strictly water. Sure, throw some lemon in it, whatever you want to do for a little bit of flavor, but I'm talking about just straight water because of the importance of getting water in your system. So on the screen and on the board behind me, we're going to go through how you can calculate your needed water intake for the day. And this is something that's going to ebb and flow with the course of your day, but the goal is to get some sort of number for you to think about, because I'm not really a big calorie counter. I'm not big into having to have a certain amount of protein exactly every day. But hydration is something we always overestimate. It's just something across the board. We kind of see it time and time again. Athletes always overestimate hydration. So we want to be dialed in as best we can. We want this number to be something that's meaningful for us and something that we're aiming for on a daily basis. So the first thing you have to do, again, it's on the screen as well, you have to get your weight in pounds, okay? So I know we have some international students as well. This formula is going to be based off of pounds. So if you know your weight in pounds, you're going to start there. Then I want you to take your weight in pounds and multiply it by 2/3, okay? So if you have your calculator, take your weight in pounds, multiply it by 2/3, and that's going to give you a number. So for me, my weight currently is 226 in pounds. When I multiply that by 2/3, comes out to about 149 something, so I just rounded up to 150 for the sake of this. Okay, so that's going to give us our foundation without any sort of activity. That's the number I would be aiming for on a daily basis just based off of my weight. Now, when we look at activity, and this is where things can kind of adjust on a day-to-day basis, but I want you to pick kind of your standard or your average amount of activity over the course of the day. So if you have a 2-hour swim practice, think about that. If you have a 1-hour dry land, then you have 3 hours total, right? So kind of think about your average day-to-day usage when you're out there completing some sort of activity. You're going to add 10 per 30 minutes of activity that you complete in a daily basis, okay? So we're not talking about walking down the street. Yes, that's activity, walking to and from class. I want you to think about your actual structured activity in terms of practice, in terms of dry lands and things like that. So for every 30 minutes, you're going to add 10 to your number that you got when you took your weight times 2/3. So that's the next step we're going to do. For me, I generally am structured activity. My structured activity level falls at about an hour and a half each day. Okay, so if I'm doing that 30 minutes each time, that's going to be 10 for every 30 minutes. That's going to come out to 180 is now my number that I'm focusing on for hydration. Okay, and now that is going to be the amount of fluid ounces you're looking for on a daily basis. So make sure you're going through. If you have your calculator, I want you to actually figure this out because I will ask you at the end what your number is, and I'll ask you to actually walk us through how you got to that number. Okay, so starting from the top, you take your weight in pounds. You're going to multiply that by 2/3. And again, the instructions are on the screen if you need them as well and you can't see the board. Then for every 30 minutes of activity, I want you to add 10 ounces of water, 10 fluid ounces of water. Okay, so whatever your activity is, figure that out, and that's the number you're going to end up with, is your rough estimate of how many ounces of water you should get on a daily basis. If you get 150.7, round it up to 151. We don't have to get that, exact with this process, but I want to give you something to shoot for. Okay, the next thing you need to do, after we establish how many ounces of water we need on a daily basis, now you got to look at your water bottle. How many fluid ounces are in your water bottle? Usually it's on the bottom if you want to flip it over and look on the bottom. If not, if you know what brand you have, so I have this Tier water bottle here. I had to look it up online because it wasn't listed anywhere, so this one was 32 fluid ounces. That's, if you have one of those green Gatorade water bottles, it's about the same size as well. And then you figure out how many ounces are in your water bottle that you're generally going to use over the course of the day. I highly advise you to use the same water bottle every day. Make sure we're cleaning it on a regular basis so we're taking care of ourselves from a health standpoint there. But by using that same water bottle or having 2 water bottles that are the same fluid ounces, you're able to track this a lot easier without having to have a notepad with you all day long, or get it just too much information going on and too much stuff happening. If you have the same water bottle, same fluid ounces, it makes it a lot easier. So for me, my water bottle is 32 fluid ounces. I take 180 divided by that 32. It comes out to about 5.6 bottles a day. So if you look at this, this is not just a small cup of water, right? I have to drink 5.6 of these per day. Honestly, most days I just round it up to 6 to be simple, all right? So I'm going to err on the side of caution by getting a little bit more water into my system. So for me, 5.6, if I'm rounding that up to 6, my goal is to get 6 of these water bottles taken care of on a daily basis to make sure that my performance is where it needs to be. Your number could be higher or lower compared to that, compared to the water bottle you have, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to the ounces you need to take in. And what that's going to do is, honestly, it just keeps you at a nice solid baseline so that hydration is not negatively impacting your performance, okay? Hydration plays such a major role in this process that even a small dip in that is going to really have an effect on what you're trying to accomplish. So make sure you're taking the time. So if I go back through the top one more time, take your weight in pounds, multiply by 2/3, then you're adding 10 fluid ounces per 30 minutes of activity. And again, that's structured activity. So off the top of my head, dry land takes about an hour. You might have a 2-hour swim practice, right? There's your 3 hours of activity for the day. Adding that to your total number to figure out your total fluid ounces. Figure out where your fluid ounces are in the water bottle you have. Divide that number from your total fluid ounces, and that's going to give you how many bottles you should drink in a day. One of the simplest things I do from a tracking standpoint is I get rubber bands and I put them at the top of the water bottle each day. And then when I finish one bottle, I slide one rubber band to the bottom. And then when I finish the second one, I slide that next rubber band to the bottom. And what that does is it makes a really nice, simple tracking system without all the tech in the world and spending a ton of money. Water bottle and a couple rubber bands is pretty cheap to figure out how to get the most out of your performance from that hydration standpoint. A couple extra things to think about. So for me, it's about 11 o'clock, 11:15 here on the East Coast. I'm already hitting about my halfway point. I started my 3 cups in the morning. I've been drinking steadily throughout the day. So I'm already pacing it to be at about a halfway point when I get to lunchtime. If you just take in a ton of water at once, honestly, it just kind of flushes right back out through your system. The goal is just to drink little bits here and there over the course of your day to get to your number. If you've probably done this at practice before, you're super thirsty, so you chug water or Gatorade, and all of a sudden it's just kind of sloshing around in your stomach. Right? It's not really getting absorbed, it's not getting used in the best way possible. So think about small doses over time and then just trying to add those doses up to hit your goal number throughout the course of the day. If you can do that on a regular basis, you're going to feel a lot better. Honestly, even it goes as far as if you're not a morning person, taking care of your hydration throughout the course of the day sets you up to make mornings a lot easier. It affects mood, okay? So if you're one of those people that you feel like you run a little bit lower, it could just be hydration based, and it could be something where we get that taken care of, you'll actually have some benefits show up that you feel a little bit better throughout the course of the day. So what I'll do, I'll come back over to the screen. I'm going to pick on a few of you to go through the hydration equation, calculate it out, how you did it. And then I want each of you that are on the call just to give me one thing you're going to do to try to hit your hydration goal for the next 7 days. Okay, so I need one idea of what you're trying to accomplish for the next 7 days, how you're going to do that. All right, so just one example of what you're going to do. And then I'm going to call on just a couple of you to see what your hydration equation is if you feel comfortable. Alrighty. All right, so what we'll do is instead of calling anyone out just because I know weight is involved and I want to be respectful. So what we'll do is instead of calling anyone out just because I know weight is involved and I want to be respectful to that, if anyone is okay sharing their number and how they got there, I go ahead and raise your hand and then you can walk us through that process. Anyone? All right, go over here to this group. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
My weight is 132 pounds.
Okay.
So then I do it times 2/3.
Yep.
That's 88. And then I have around 30 minutes in a day when we start practice.
Okay.
So from next week on, so I do it plus 60. Then it's 148. And then I got a water bottle of 20 ounce. And then it's 148 divided by 20. So that's 7.4 bottles. So I'm trying to get 7.5 so that I have enough.
Perfect. And based off of what you currently do, does that seem like a lot more or about what you currently get? A lot more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of going back to that point. Great job. That was perfect. That goes back to the point I made. We often underestimate how much water we truly need. And then I actually do this with some of the masters athletes I work with. And their hydration, just as you age, actually goes up in requirement. So it's even higher for some of my masters swimmers that I work with. So, it's just one of those things that it's a great thing to get started with now. and learn how to, to do this. And then, because it only, you need this your whole life. It's a huge part of your life. So that was a great job. That was perfect. And, definitely falls in line. Anybody else want to walk us through their process? All right, go right here. All right, take it away.
I personally I divided 2 by 3 and got whatever that number is, and then multiplied it by 173 pounds. I got 115, and then added 60, got 175 divided by 32, and got 5.5 cups.
There you go. Excellent. So yeah, I think 60 sounds like a good number as an ad for everyone. And, coach might say at some point in the season, as things get more intense or things back off, that number might ebb and flow. But the goal is to kind of stick with your average, because even though your training is going to ebb and flow, there's going to be days you just underestimate it anyway. So if we can be consistent, we're better in the long run for that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go around the room. Doesn't have to be long. Just I want you to share one thing you're going to do to, basically try to hit this goal for the next 7 days. And we're going to check back in 7 days and see how we did. So at some point I'll send out an email and you'll be asked, how many days did you hit your hydration goal? What was the easiest? What was the hardest part of it? And what did you learn? So I'm going to start with Emily. Emily, just give us one thing that you're going to do to try to hit this goal.
I think getting up in the morning and drinking the 3 cups of water, and then just keeping my water bottle with me all day.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a big one. Keeping your water bottle nearby all day. If it's not near you, you're not as willing to stay on top of it because you don't see it, so you don't have that memory just from it being present. Avi's group. Let's go with you two.
Well, I think I'm gonna start making sure I have a bottle of water with me at meals, because right now the calf doesn't provide water. So I think that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
That's smart.
Thank you.
Smart. I don't know. I think I'll do it with her, and just take care of my water bottle being filled by the morning.
Perfect. Braden, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out my fluid ounces on my water bottle because it's covered in stickers, so I couldn't figure out what the brand was. So what were we doing?
So give me, after you figure that out, I want to know one way that you're going to make a change to try to hit that hydration goal for the next 7 days.
Well, I am going to make sure I bring this in the car wherever I go and just try and drink it whenever possible.
Yeah.
So
that's perfect. Yeah. Anytime you're driving, that, having a water bottle nearby, obviously be safe on the road, but that is a great time to focus on hydration as well. Let's go with Riley's group. Yep, there you go. Unmute.
Sorry. I would. I like to use the reminders on my phone, and so I think mine. Well, I'm not working out quite as much the rest of this week. It's only about 4 water bottles, so it's a decent amount of reminders I can handle having 4, and then when I see it, I'll remember to fill up my water bottle again because I should have finished it by then.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's a great point of, set it if you need reminders, set quarterly reminders throughout the course of the day on your phone, and just have them repeating. That's a great way to go about that process. All right, let's see. You should be able to unmute. There you go.
Okay. I already keep like rubber bands on my water bottle,
Nice.
so I'm gonna try that idea of moving them down after I drink each
Yeah.
bottle.
You're fully equipped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm not making it.
All right, let's see. Rainy.
So I usually actually finish my hydro 3 times a day, but I need to start doing it a little bit more. So I think I'll just start setting like reminders to drink like 2 more a day because I have to finish it 5 times now.
There you go. So yeah, you can see the difference right there, right? You know, two full water bottles. That's a lot of hydration. That, you know, although 3 is a great start, I'm definitely not undercutting that. But you can just see what it could take to get to the level of performance. You know, what can help you performance wise. So that's awesome. Good job, Spencer.
So, can you hear me?
Yep.
So, I have a 40-ounce water bottle.
Nice.
Some days I drink 1, some days I drink 2, and some days I drink half of this. So, I'm probably just going to have to set reminders for myself throughout the day to make sure that I drink it 4.5 times a day.
Good. Nicholas.
I have a 18-ounce bottle, and what I usually do is that every hour on the hour, I would make sure to drink water, like at least half.
Good. Yeah, that's a great idea. William.
I already drink a freakish amount of water. I guess the only change that I would make is just actually tracking how much it is and how much I'm actually drinking. Because as you said, I probably shouldn't chug a bunch of water at once because I won't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, just stretching it out throughout the day and actually tracking how much I'm taking in.
Yeah, and to that point about chugging, I'm very much guilty of that. And then I attended a seminar with a registered dietitian that kind of let me know that point about take slow sips throughout the course of the day, just because you'll overwhelm your system if you're just putting a ton into it. And that made me think. I was like, wow, I got to think about that change as well, which is a big one. So yeah, that's a great point. Connor. So you guys should be able to unmute. There we go.
Yep. So I think I actually drink quite a bit of water. I just don't think I drink enough in the morning. So I might just fill up my water bottle at night and leave it there. So when I wake up, I just instinctively know to get it going.
That's a great idea. Who else we got there?
So I already drink near what my goal is. So
Great.
I'm just going to try and be more consistent throughout the day. I tend to drink a lot more at night than I do in the morning, so I'm going to try and balance that out a little bit.
Perfect. Very good.
And I guess the only thing with me, I'm not going to forget to drink it because my body's not dumb and it'll just let me know when I'm thirsty. But I just going to make sure it's cold. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
If it's cold, I'll drink it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, some people, lukewarm water is not the most favorable thing. So, you have to make it work for you. Some people, honestly, if you haven't done it before, get some lemon, slice up some lemon and squeeze it into your water in the morning. It just adds a little bit of flavor. It actually it's really nice. It's very refreshing. You can do that with other fruit as well. So, there's things you can add. The goal is just to not go down the track of, we're having Gatorade or Powerade and things like that and thinking that's going to take care of the hydration. Gatorade and Powerade, things like that, have a chocolate milk we use in recovery purposes. There's definitely other liquids that play a role in the process, but when it comes to just specifically hydration and looking at setting the tone across your life, we want to just focus on water specifically. So that's awesome. Lizzie.
The ingenious idea of like getting one rubber band and putting on each tick mark whenever I drink a full bottle, because I don't have that many rubber bands.
Yeah, no, that's a great adaptation. Awesome. Meredith.
So I'm gonna bring a water bottle with me everywhere, and also I drink a lot of sugary drinks, so I'll need to substitute those with water.
There you go. Yeah, so I'm a diehard cold brew coffee drinker. Coach knows this very well. So I force myself to finish my water bottle before I'm allowed to have the coffee, just to balance out the diuretic effect of coffee. So there's ways to work around it, but again, it comes back to that water level. Wyatt, if you're awake over there, you got to unmute yourself. Oh, and we're down. There we go.
I'm not Wyatt. Sorry. Wyatt, he was talking to me.
He's talking to me.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
So what is one thing you're going to focus on to help hit this goal, or what's one change you're going to make?
Probably drink like 3 or I don't know, cups of my 40-ounce water bottle. So probably do that.
All right.
Did you want to talk to Josiah as well, or just me?
Absolutely. Whoever's in the room.
I was planning on I've been drinking a lot more water recently. I've been drinking about 3 cups of tea every day, and then at least 2-3 hydro flasks. So maybe increase more water intake, I guess. I don't know.
Yep. Let's see. I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Zimia, is that right? You can correct me. I probably got coach is laughing, so I probably got it way wrong. It should pop up and let you in. There we go. All right. How do you pronounce your name first? Let's get that one correct.
It's pronounced Jimena.
Wow. I was not even close. I'm so sorry.
So,
I'll get better. Emily's even laughing at me. All right.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna just try to keep my water bottle with me, and that's it.
Yeah. That's a huge step.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
You want to say something?
Yep.
I have a 40-ounce hydro flask, and I drink about 2 of them. I need to drink like 3.5 to 4, so I'll probably just try to keep it with me, or not keep it with me more, but like keep it filled more, because I have a habit of like emptying it and then not filling it back up.
Good. Craig.
I guess I'm just gonna try to keep this with me passively, because the Zoom meeting, I've already finished one of these already, and I need to finish 4 more today if I'm going off of that calculated thing. So I'll just try to keep it passively with me all the time.
Awesome.
More
Yep.
than I usually am.
Very good. Gabby.
So I have a 40-ounce, and pretty much I'm just gonna keep this by me mostly in the mornings as a reminder. So yeah.
Yeah, so mornings are honestly, if you're not, a morning person, which I don't expect everyone to be. I know I'm gifted with the curse of enjoying the mornings. The mornings can get away from you very quickly, and then all of a sudden you're at noon and you realize you haven't really had any water today, and then you're wondering why you have a headache and you kind of just feel sluggish. So mornings are definitely a time to focus. That's good. Another name I'm probably going to pronounce wrong. Emil. Is that closer? I got a thumbs up. All right. 1 for 2. I'll take it.
I have a little water bottle, so I try to finish one every hour.
There you go. Perfect. Very good. Oh, sorry. I hit mute. Go ahead and there we go.
I've got a 20-ounce one, and I've got to just make sure it's filled in with me, because I know a lot of times that I either leave it here at the apartments, or I will have it unfilled in my car when I'm going someplace, and I just got to make sure it's filled in with me.
Perfect. Zachary.
For me, I'm kind of like AJ. When I have it with me,
I'll forget that I actually drank some of it already. I'll be like already empty. So I just need to make sure that it's full when I leave my house and take it to me when I go and do exercises, because that's one thing that I don't do, and I need to get the habit of doing that.
Yeah, that's a
So
great point. One thing I like to do with that in mind, during my rest intervals, I just go take 2 sips of water during each rest interval. So say if, I'm doing dry land and I'm supposed to have a minute rest, I go over 2 sips of water, and then I kind of just walk in place or catch my breath, whatever I'm needing to do during that rest interval. So you can even make it part of that. And then all of a sudden you're done training and you've gone through a whole water bottle. It happens pretty quick with all the sets that we'll do. And then even, if you're hitting the wall in practice, you have a quick breather, 2 sips of water, right back in it. All of a sudden you'll be filling up again. So Libby.
I just have to remember to take my water bottle with me wherever I go, so that I don't drink anywhere. And remember to bring it to practices.
Yep, definitely remember to bring it to practices. Coach will remind you plenty of times for that, because when you get halfway through a practice without a water bottle, you've realized the mistake has been made. So definitely make sure you have your water bottle ready. All right, let's see if I can get this one right. Katie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm at work right now, so I apologize if I have to leave. I drink way too much water, coffee, and tea. I have ADHD, so I have a habit of eating and drinking when I'm bored or itchy. So I guess my goal would probably be to actually drink less water, because I have way too much.
Yeah, no, and that's something that's less discussed, but you can drink too much water. So that is something that if you're drinking way more than your number, if we're multiple water bottles ahead of where we're supposed to be, that's something to also keep in mind. So there's kind of that balance, and hydration super important, and then overhydration is also an issue. It's just usually a lot less of an issue in terms of what we see on a day-to-day basis, with people overestimating how much they're drinking and how much they actually need. Jordan.
Yeah, so I think that I fall into the habit of finishing my water bottle and then just kind of leaving it there and not refilling it. So I think I need to work on constantly having a full water bottle that I can drink from.
Yeah. And last one, I got to pull it together here. Lindea? Is that close? Not close?
Well, that's close. It's Lindy, but everybody here in my hometown calls me Lindea all the time. It's fine.
All right. Well, got it.
Okay. So I have to drink at least four hydro flasks a day to get my fluid ounces, and I have a habit of taking my hydro flask to work and then just leaving it in the break room and drinking it when I'm on break, which is every 30 minutes. So I drink it. I just don't drink it as often as I should. So I think what I'm going to work on is not only taking it to my rotations, because I'm a lifeguard. I'm in a hot pool every day.
Yep.
So I'm going to take it to my stations, and then I'm going to try and have it filled at practice, ready to drink, because I also don't do that very well.
Good. Very good. Yeah, and along those lines, great point about, the hot environment of a pool, or, the hot days of summer versus the cold days of winter. Even weather plays a role in how much hydration you'll need. So you might even need more if you're sweating more, for example, or if you're kind of shivering to stay warm, that burns more and uses more water throughout that process. So there's also little intricacies there. I didn't go into all those today, just to kind of keep it a little bit more simple as a starting point. But, that also plays a role too. The weather outside can play a role in how much hydration you need. So those are all great answers. That's going to be great feedback for everybody that, couldn't make the call. There's going to have some serious options to be able to go through and make this change. So today starts the 7 days. You need to keep track of how much water you drink, just in terms of your water bottle goal. So I don't need the ounce number or anything. So if you need to drink 4 a day and you get through 3.5, I want you to document that throughout the course of the next 7 days. And then we're going to send out a little survey and see how everyone did. And this is something that should extend past 7 days, but we're going to start with that, try to start building that habit. So make sure you're keeping track somehow. If you want to, put it in a notepad or a note on your phone is honestly how I'll do it. If you have any sort of smartwatch, they usually have some sort of water tracking where you can set your ounces that you need in a day and plug it in. So, whatever you need to do to keep track of it, do so for the next 7 days, and then we'll send out a survey to see how everyone did. Coach, any announcements?
Yeah. Hey, first I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because I have to do this too. Is for me, if I get up and drink the water first thing in the morning, it sets my day to remind me to be drinking water, because I'm really good about drinking water, but I don't drink enough if I don't start it off first thing in the morning. And if I allow myself to get thirsty, it's too late. And then I kick myself and have to try to figure out how to do better next time. Because if you guys allow yourself, if your body tells you you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So so that's what I'm going to do. Make sure I get up in the morning and drink a couple of glasses of water. I love hearing your voices. I can't wait till next week that I get to see some of your faces and hear you in live person. Okay, Monday, we get to meet for the first time for those who are in Coos Bay. Monday morning, we will meet at 8 a.m. for the ladies and 10 a.m. for the men behind Prosper Hall. Okay? Big reminders, guys. We got to make sure we can have a season. Okay, we have to go through these phases, so make sure that we are staying 6 feet apart. Make sure that we are wearing our masks, and we can't. One of the things athletic director reminded us, and he's like, make sure you remind your teams, we can't be doing high fives. We're going to have to do a different type of team cheer. We're real big into coming together. We're going to have to do like air high fives, stuff like that. We got to make sure we stay 6 feet apart. Wash your hands often before you go into dry land, when you leave dry land, before you go into the store, when you leave the store. Make sure you're washing your hands. And make sure you're doing that COVID symptom check every day. Start next week, I have to check it. And it's dated, so don't take a screenshot of one day and try to use that every day, okay? There is a COVID class on your e-learning. Please take that. I'm going to ask you guys on Monday about that. It's quick and easy. I know that some of you guys have already done it, so ask your teammates. And there is a quiz at the end, but you can take it as many times as you need to take it. Just make sure you just read that PowerPoint, go through it, and take the quiz at the end. Easy, and then we're done. And then we're prepared for the season, okay? Make sure you know your dry land warm-up for next week. If you don't, we'll find out soon enough, okay? My question for today is, why do we need a team? Okay, why do we need a team? Everybody wants to be a part of a great team. Not everybody knows how to be a part of a great team. So I want to start that foundation of why do we need a team? So your homework, in addition to your hydration for the next 7 days, but your homework for this weekend is 3 questions. Why? What does team mean to you? Okay, what does team mean to you? How will you make this team better? And how will you allow this team to make you better? Those are the 3 questions. What does team mean to you? How will you make this team better? And how will you allow this team to make you better? Okay? That's what I got. We want to start building this team. Let's become a great team. I know you guys all came here to be a part of a great team. We got to become a great team. Okay? And it's going to start with our hydration. And I am included in that. All right. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. We got one more weekend. Make sure you're on top of your classes, and I'll see you guys on Monday.